you are as good as your last performance. Into sekede elukoma ebebu said okay, the last time around na yenye de World Cup tournament no. How were some of these teams able to perform? Abestent na wotu na oko koduli. One no do the semi-final numpo. And when the progress, how has it been as it stands now? They will tune what you the last time around will continue, and they are going to reinvent the wheel, and I will walk back to factory settings. Those are the dynamics I will compare Nash as far as tournaments now. Elu come in the tape in the day. Obutu no wakwa head na wakwa you know or your consent. Now, for the last African Nations Cup, and now Felix Yelinya, ebonde in the knockout stages, no. Teams are not world to room no Burkina Faso, Senegal, Egypt, and then also Cameroon. But with that semi-final, you know straight away, na Senegal was working at 3-1. If able to make Obia, this is how you treat them. 3-1 you say for. But Cameroon and Egypt won it ended in 0-0 and a penalty shootout. Now Egypt watched at 3-1 against Cameroon. What they call a final against Oman and the Senegal. Also sounds so indeed in a drought. Obiale into Shebi and a Senegal 4-2 on penalties. What they lifted the last edition of the African Nations Cup. Interestingly, with Burkina, Senegal, Cameroon, and Egypt on the fellas. Anya the monk of your mabu be one with 2 into room. In I want to make tape on that this time around. Over to finish inside the top 4 or the semi-final stage of the African Nations Cup. And on the group dynamics in the baby. The group been and one of them. About kind of competition of to win ya. As far as that group are concerned, that say why one I don't walk ahead and that's why I qualified that the semi-final would to now why they not the one. And if the host nation now, mostly they have the advantage of the environment, the weather condition, and the 12th man because able to play the supporters are travel call Obini home grounds are on quiet to the home. It is very weird. And on time see the host nation not know and then call for Abasi supporters from Ghana, from Guinea, from Nigeria, from Cameroon. Now what about those as no be host the tournament on time see. So the advantage of being the host nation, no fellas, Oyan and Penny Baby no play into the fold of the host nation. And Ebonde, they are in group A with Equatorial Guinea, make Ivory Coast one awesome. Plus Guinea Bissau and on Nigeria. Yeah, for the last 10 years, Ebonde Nigeria watch African Nations Cup be along the line with Stephen Keshi in 2013. But since then, they have really struggled to get even into the semi-final again of the African Nations Cup. And this generation of Nigerian setup, no, it is supposed to be one of their golden generations. Some may compare qualities to that of the team of what they did in 2018. Fellas, Motu Makacho boldly that this time the qualities they are slightly ahead of the setup of what they did in 2013. It is quite arguable. But for some of us, yes, one attacking threat. The last time you had to listen about what the more now. So we catch him in Nigeria that kind of qualities ahead of Mordeji in 2013 with Stephen Keshina. Personally, I will not go and argue. And I want to be, and I met tape one over to qualify out of that group. I heard of Equatorial Guinea and then also Guinea-Bissau. Me expect to know about the shaping boys. And with the advantage of Ivory Coast, they all hosted this tournament, if they get out of the group, it is just the icing on the cake. And me who that one Nigeria and Obutumo qualify mostly so to me feel one group number on times another it is not quite possible to Obutumo share in the round of 16 because the first Ebeshi will be the second in the next group, the second Ebeshi will be the first in the next group. So say we qualify out of their group now. Nigeria and Ivory Coast are not going to meet in the knockout stage or early as the round of 16 stage. It's only be Obutumo wako him. Ebe the next group in Group B. I want to Ghana one. Together with Egypt, Mozambique, and then also Cape Verde Island. Fellas, in that group, it's a fact is equal. Me the Ghana back Egypt when they were qualify.
Ghana and Egypt in qualify.
Qualifying for them group. That is if all factors are being equal. Only to the round of 16. And anything short of that, in the fellas, boys, was there down one call. Was the AGS call. Because you can't be in the group with Mozambique and Cape Verde. Now, Kabana Becher won't same to the men down no see. Egypt in the Derby. It is not pardonable. And the only difficulty with regards to qualification out of that group should be the games against Egypt. You know how are Egypt in recent past why a thorn in the flesh of Ghanaians. People be seeing be one for respect and famine. And they seem to get the better part of us anytime we meet them. But nonetheless, with Cape Verde and Mozambique, I see Ghana being able to manage them to at least finish second in that particular group na one fan called the next stage. In group C, obi also in the last 3 editions also YGB that in, that is Cameroon. And in a group with the defending champion in Senegal and a winning addition in Gambia and then also Guinea. I see Cameroon and Senegal getting qualification into the next stage of that is the African Nations Cup as far as group C are concerned. Even Algeria also the last 3 editions also one. Together with Angola, Burkina, and then also Mauritania. The Burkina betcha last season or the last edition in 2022, if it is anything to go by, Moon wonder will qualify together with Algeria ahead of Angola and then also Mauritania. So in Group D, so more for Burkina and then also Algeria. But if Algeria are able to top the group as it stands now, no one the first in alphabetical order na first. Also, Linyam Hong Kra. Echo Group E, Ebinya Mali, Namibia, Tunisia, and South Africa. And I want them for one as my group of death. Mali, South Africa, Tunisia, and Namibia. They are close to being, that is, co-equals. Because if South Africa, the resurgence of Waboom, if Mali, if Tunisia plus Namibia, Ebekada only now their qualities na cut across. Until the Nigeria, until the Morocco, until the Algeria or Cameroon, Ebekada some premier donors in their setup. And then for South Africa, Krana, they have a lot of domestic players in their fold. I want able into the tournament. So the group, you know, for one as the group of death. And normally, group of death instead of big countries and got and take the group as the group of death. If we have group another clubs and other countries are where of the same caliber in quote, another one quality is not Ben you can take them as the group of death. And I want and I made Mohana. Eventually, I see Mali and then also. That is Tunisia qualifying at the expense of Namibia and then also South Africa. Lastly, Group F with the Democratic Republic of Congo, Morocco, Tanzania, and Zambia. That's another difficult group. And I see Morocco and then also Zambia getting qualification out of this group also. I feel to my last 4. And I want the group dynamics no to now fellas. F for Group A.
Spice Center Sports.
But Ivory Coast back home that they should be able to get into the last 4. And if for one recent results are fine, you might be flattered with the last game of against Seychelles and Wallace won by 9-0. And in their food, some of the best players are at the highest level for their various clubs. Sekou Fofana, Mo, Sangare, Frankesi, Sebastian Halle, and a Konate leading lines. Samuel Edingren or Brighton Hove Albion Ivorian. Sebastian Halle no above the Borussia Dortmund now working in surgeon fellas. He is an Ivorian. And they have some fine players in their food. Referencing Gomo, Max Alengrade, they are still part of the food. Brandon Ali Sangari. And a horse who host the tournament. No? So the worst for them cry over to what that compensate one of fans. The golden generation, they couldn't bring some of these smiles into their faces. They won it once. Waben won again at the final. And if there's a better moment to bring back the trophy now, I think this is one of the moments. Into 1 year crowd, it should be the semi-final for the Ivorians. And I see them getting into that state, especially in the group of Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau, and also Equatorial Guinea. Nigeria be one day. But Marsha won qualifiers in the African Nations Cup. Marsha won World Cup qualifiers. No? And I think that the last time I make a coach, no be a selection headache, especially in the attacking third. And we get a lot of premier donors up and them now you are unable to control them. Obia who know there or now maybe serve the next person. Ademole Lukman should be able to go and run for the ball and come and give it to the leading marksman to finish it, but he won't do it because also 100 now he starts for Atlanta. The young lads now be serve senior players now. Eventually it will affect you. That is with Nigeria set up now. I don't see them getting into the semi-final. They have a very fine squad. On paper, what presenter Felix what the Real Madrid, but what Bobona a certain Memphis, they not Forest and they are not that convincing. And now say some of these minnows in African soil are walk onto their home grounds to walk up for points and some of that could feel. So Nigeria tournament ready. It is just to prove me wrong. They'll be convinced it is one that I'm watching out for. But they'll be semi-final in the first. Men for them fan count. Many can have more Ivory Coast. Now,
Center Sports.
Even the Algerian national team, and I may catch the last time and now the last 3 editions, they were part of the food. and they have not reinvented the wheels as it stands now. No, the factors be allowed born on my waje. That Afcon no, Bebre Nani is still present. As stands now, they still have Atal more on the right side. Isa Mendy with Ben Sibiani and the one join the club. That is team Borussia Dortmund. In the left side position now, Renan Atinori of Wolverhampton Wanderers is also there. Nabil Ben Taleb, Sofiane Fergouli, Riyad Mahrez, Lemani, and Asabi Muina. They are still part of their foot. And say, in the players are what Meji Afcon, they are still in the setup now. Adio all the bro experience. That when the going gets tough now, they know their ways around the team. On the banana war be shiver. On the banana war the atmosphere, they have seen it, they have conquered in the same competition. So Algerians will have one slot from me as far as the semi-final are concerned. The last two will be shared between Cameroon. Omana Nidindi Morocco and Ghana. Ghana because of proximity. Ghana because of our qualities on paper. But with these three countries, I'm able to fellas. Enya Cameroon, Enya Morocco. Ebekere wojine Cameroon, the last edition, they were able to get into the semi-final. Ebekere fine visit Abubakar Mono one ade. But as it stands now, they've been able to replace them equally. If they are playing games, you cannot even say that they are missing a bit of Vicente Abubakar. They have Andre Onana in the goalpost. Check their defense line. Check their midfield and their attack. A baby said there's a wojine game no wall ball may combine Morocco and then also the Cameroonian national team. And said they compare that of the Black Stars. Does the Black Stars play with that kind of comfortability? One more convincing games, Anna. Can you sit back and get a certain popcorn and a drink on the side that you two now but not enjoy Black Stars games, Anna Derby? Or you ready, me one a time and also. And if a group named them no so fellas, ye and yana hombrodo. On your falla, the man farmer the Black Stars of Ghana. And the surprise package are all Ghanaian group in Mombasa, and you're careful. The old train and a Comoros Munya was saying, you know, Obotum with Sibima, fellas, Ebe Keved. Because already in Egypt, the Anamaka will be a turn in our flesh. Mozambique, we can manage it, but you should be very careful with Cape Verde. And so people who are preventing and the young qualifying faithful group in Mumpua. I'm doing this analysis in the presence of the current state of the Black Stars, who are not convincing. I shall entum nenya resim bia do botu akonenim ye koja ba ndo bia botu akan bi o ma wo pass ball na etum bo ana etum twetwa ana etum pass ana etum sha ana etum win ana, and that is the bone of contention and they also freed my yellow trend the Ghana able to deal with. But mutumonyo Cameroon, mutumonyo Morocco, so let's look at what the Moroccans did in the World Cup, and they still have their manager still in their foot. Or the one to Wadrabuyo someone fellas, he's still there. Every Akombiala will come your ahead in the semi-final of the World Cup, you know, they can replicate it, they can repeat it. So consistency in their selection, it is still there. For the Black Stars, we have even changed handles. Yes, some manager on the World Cup. Eko Cameroon, which have the one to song on the one. I feel 9 years, you go back to factory settings, you go for the fuffle. And I think this tournament has come early for us to say that we are going into the semi-final. At least for the level and the caliber of a country, Ghana, and can get into the semi-final. It should be cheap to cry. But young boys in a watching that they are not ready to die. They are not ready to replicate the same kind of form watching our club side at the national team. Which of course the Camerooners and some of these countries on one watching there consistently they can be able to do it.
Okay.
So for the semi-final and the fellas, Metepe Ivory Coast for the fact that they are the defending champions. Metepe Cameroon last edition they were in the semi-final, and they made the Omena Morocco back home. Now made the Senegal at them this year. Ghana. Fellas obeyed in the semi-final.
Johnny on Facebook, Spice 91.9 FM on Facebook now.